Many years ago in Osina Kingdom lived Mbakwe and his 5 wives. Osina is a very rich land and Mbakwe is spectacularly wealthy. Mbakwe was the richest man in Osina. Even the king of Osina reveres him. He was a trader in Onitsha and had many shops. He retired early because he had trained enough hands who brought him returns every month. And these young men competed among themselves on who would bring in the most in a year. Mbakwe is smart and had set up a system within which his young men operated without his supervision. Just before he retired, he had a dream where he saw his grandfather telling him that to immortalize his name, he should marry many wives and have as many children as possible. He had more than enough money to support all that. He already had 5 wives, and many ladies in Osina had one desire: to be among Chief Mbakwe's wives, be among his well-fed, beautifully attired wives. The first 2 wives have daughters who are now of marriageable age. Mbakwe set a new target. He would take on a new wife each time he gives out any of his daughters to a man to marry. There was just one big problem. His first daughter is too fat, and by Osina tradition, the first daughter must marry first before all the other daughters marry. And this one is just far too fat. Men would come knowing that there are grown-up daughters in Mbakwe's massive household, and they would have to leave disappointed because they cannot marry the girl of their choice. They are advised to marry the fat one first and then come back to marry any other. The issue was just that first daughter. After she is married off, all the others could marry without following the order of seniority. Unfortunately too, this first daughter's name is Obonyealu, meaning a poor man cannot marry me. So apart from her massive fatness, her name put off many men. Many of them felt infuriated, and some felt intimidated by that name. Those who considered themselves rich enough felt insulted. Those who were average felt intimidated. So the big question is, who would solve this big problem? Which man? In those ancient days, there was nothing like changing of names. If you were given a name, you were stuck with that name for life. So Obonyealu bore a name that was against her, and she knows how to really eat. It's as if eating is a hobby. Fortunately, Obonyealu is expert at the kitchen. She churns out great foods once she enters the kitchen. She is one bundle of happiness, always happy. Movement is difficult for her, but she moves. Slowly, yes, but surely. She spent most of her time in the kitchen. She cooks and eats. One day, Mbakwe needed to host some men from Onitsha, some of his colleagues from Onitsha market. It's actually done yearly. It's like a yearly feast. The 5 wives cook and stand by their foods. Each wife stands with 2 or 3 of her children who would help to serve. This particular year, Obonyealu had become old enough, so she did the cooking for her mom. Mama stood with Obonyealu with other 2 siblings who would help to serve. Obonyealu's mom is the very first wife. So because she did the cooking, Obonyealu had to come out to stand with her mom at their food stand. She couldn't stand for long, so she had to sit down. Obonyealu was smiling the most as usual. Happy, fat, young lady. happy with a capital H. So because her mom is first wife, their stand was first. Every other wife and their children had their stand after them. Her smiles got the men coming to their stand. So men took food from Obonyealu's mom's stand, and word spread fast among the men that their food was super delicious. They queued up to get served by Obonyealu and her siblings. Some of the food points had nobody there at all, while there was a long queue at Obonyealu's mom's stand. Some men were talking about Obonyealu while eating. One was looking for a wife, a rich young man. His name is Ifeanyi. He told his friend Amadi that he would marry Obonyealu. It was his first time of seeing her. Amadi said, "How could you marry someone as fat as that? Someone bigger than you? Hey, do you hear that fat people fall down a lot because their fat body cannot adequately be coordinated by the brain? Their brain gets overworked and their body will just go haywire, behaving anyhow they like. A kind of imbalance happens and they fall easily. And if this heavy weight falls on you, The both laughed. Then Ifeanyi said, "Amadi, fat is something that one can deal with later. Did you notice her smiles, her joy, her laughter? Did you notice the twinkle in her eyes? I have never seen that twinkle anywhere. It's a twinkle that touches my heart. I want to see it every day of my life. You remember the girl I wanted to marry last year?" Amadi said yes, Uchechi. I had to advise myself against going ahead with her because she was always frowning. I made a lot of efforts to please her, but no, she was beautiful, but too gloomy. I had to put a check on me. I want laughter. I want happiness. My line of business, you know now, is far too competitive and it makes me too serious-minded. I need someone that would give me laughter when I come home. If she's laughing like this in this open place, full of strangers, what do you think she would do in the home? I want her fat and all." Obonyealu's cousin Nwamaka came back from Lagos on a visit to Osina. She was Obonyealu's friend, though they were cousins. She saw when Ifeanyi went to talk to Obonyealu before he left the arena. And Ifeanyi is good looking and rich. No, you may not know how much he has, but many a time it shows. Most of the time, such men who hold secret codes to wealth through one business or another could be picked out even when they don't talk. They are solid men, and Nwamaka saw this and took note. In about 1 week, Ifeanyi was back to see Obonyealu, and Nwamaka was there. They welcomed him. He just came to see Obonyealu, and since Mbakwe was home, he went to greet him. Mbakwe teased him. "Ifeanyi, what has brought you back to my domain so soon?" Ifeanyi laughed and said, "Oga, am I not free to come here when I like? You are Oga now. If I am passing and I am hungry, I will surely come in." Mbakwe laughed and laughed and said, "Okay, well done. We shall know soon. Frogs don't jump about in the afternoon in Osina, except if something is pursuing them." Ifeanyi answered, "Oga, the speed of a running man is determined by what is pursuing him. If a goat is chasing you, your speed cannot be anything like if a lion is pursuing you." Mbakwe said, "No problem. Go. We shall soon know What is pursuing you, Ifeanyi? We shall soon know. They both laughed again. And Ifeanyi left to a mini sitting room to see Obonyealu. And Nwamaka was there. Ifeanyi concentrated in just talking and talking to and with Obonyealu, who was making him laugh so much. Nwamaka found the whole thing upsetting. She's a few months older than Obonyealu. She is chic, as in shapely. How could this obviously rich, handsome guy be going for Obonyealu while she is here? Why? Why did he not see her? It was 5 p.m. and Ifeanyi said he wanted to go back to Onitsha. Of course, Obonyealu would not see him off to his car. Remember, she has difficulty with movement. It was Nwamaka who would do that. In 5 minutes, just before Ifeanyi entered his car, Nwamaka downloaded unprintable things on Obonyealu to Ifeanyi. From that she is too lazy, to that she is always quarreling, to that she smells because she doesn't bathe daily, to that she tells lies a lot. Finally, she said, yes, I actually thought you should be looking for a sleek figure wife that would fit you. So you imagine what she would look like standing beside you in public? Ifeanyi said, thank you for all you have said. I will respond to you when I come again at the weekend. Goodbye. So on Sunday afternoon, Ifeanyi drove in and he was again talking and talking with Obonyealu, and Nwamaka was still around. Time to go to his car. Nwamaka walked him to his car again. And Ifeanyi said, you see, you are cousins, and it is wicked of you to backstab Obonyealu, who has never done you harm. You see, I cannot chop sleek shape. When I am asleep, I cannot remember sleek figure or not. I will not remember fat or no fat. What I remember is if I go to bed happy and wake up happy. I don't ask for much. Sleek people have destroyed some men. Fat people have too. I am only saying that I have found what I want, and not even you can stop me. Nwamaka was embarrassed. She went to Obonyealu and said, this Ifeanyi that is always coming and coming, I hope he is not looking for a wife here. He looks like a 419er, a big scammer. That's why he talks so smooth. I don't like him. In case he wants to marry you, I know his type. You cannot trust him. You cannot trust them at all. They jump from one woman to another. Very, very unfaithful. I can tell you this. You know, I live in Lagos now. He was even trying to chat me up these brief times I walked him to his car. Careful, cousin, careful. Obonyealu started laughing. and laughing. Obonyealu said, oh, Nwamaka zukwanike. That means calm down, be calming down. Don't worry about this. Life is in phases and men are in sizes. I believe that deep calls unto deep. If a man would love me the way I am, then you know that God's hand is in it. I am not the sharpest knife in the cupboard, but I am a knife, useful in some way or another. Don't worry about me, Nwamaka. Also remember, he hasn't told me anything yet. And Papa knows this man and what businesses he has. Again, Nwamaka was disappointed. In 2 days, she left for Lagos. Ifeanyi came again and Nwamaka wasn't around. They had very fruitful talks this time, especially because they are more familiar and more at home with each other. Ifeanyi mentioned marriage to see if she would be agreeable. She laughed and laughed and laughed as usual. Next day, Ifeanyi came with a diamond ring. and presented it to Obonyealu, who accepted, laughing and laughing and laughing. They both went to see Chief Mbakwe, and Mbakwe blessed them. Ifeanyi asked if he could start the processes immediately, something that they had been waiting for. He's asking questions. Mbakwe, of course, said yes, yes, yes. And in about 3 months, every ceremony was completed. Mbakwe threw a heavy feast in Osina that remained the talk of the town and talk of Onitsha for many, many years. 3 years after, Ifeanyi and Obonyealu had twin babies, a boy and a girl, and Obonyealu had lost about 50 kg. Yes, you heard me right. She lost 50 whole kg. Just being happy and controlling what she ate and when. She added some workouts, and Ifeanyi asked her if she would like to participate in their business by taking the accounting part of the business. So she had to enroll to train and write professional accounting exams. She did it parts 1 and 2 only once and passed. She became a chartered accountant, handling both Ifeanyi's businesses in Nigeria and the ones in other nations. Ifeanyi has remained very happy and grateful. Nwamaka married a man in Lagos, and sadly, the man made her his punching bag. And one day she decided she would retaliate and hit the man's head with a bottle, and he slumped and died instanter, right in their bedroom. This one time, police picked her up and locked her up in his cell. The case will be in court in a short while. It is Obonyealu and her husband that are looking for ways to get her out of the whole mess and close the case, since it is a domestic matter. They hired a senior lawyer for her. Wow, wow. Obonyealu got married at last. Obonyealu lost 50 kg within 3 years. Obonyealu is a chartered accountant. Obonyealu has 2 beautiful children, the one that every man rejected. As long as there is life, there is hope. For to him that is living, that is joined to all their living, there is hope. A living dog is better than a dead lion. We trust you have enjoyed the story. What do you think about all the characters in the story? Should Ifeanyi have gone to marry Nwamaka? Should he have gone for a shapely chick instead of his heart, peace and joy? Let's know what you have to say about any one of them that touches you, please. And what do you think about the tradition of Osina, where the first daughter must marry first? And that seems to be the tradition in many parts of Africa and in many homes. Please let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please encourage us to roll out more African folk tales, more African real life stories by giving this video a thumbs up, and also subscribe to our channel if you haven't already done so. Yes, please remember to click the bell icon so you would be among the first to know when we upload another very interesting story video. And please share our stories with your friends and family. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being there for us. This is African Folk Tales ChinChin. Till our next video, remain truly amazing. Goodbye.